What's up, Crispy Gang? Crispy here. You know, I once loved owning my games, being able to play them whenever and wherever I wanted. But if Ubisoft had their way, we could never have physical media ever again. I might be stretching it a bit, but Ubisoft's latest subscription strategy is turning heads, and not all for good reasons. Could be a sign of things to come. Alright, gang, let's buy a pound and break it down. Ubisoft, known for the hits like Assassin's Creed, is pushing a subscription model. However, Ubisoft's journey into subscription based gaming isn't entirely new. They started back in 2019 with Uplay Plus, boasting a library of 115 games. Fast forward to now, and they rebranded to Ubisoft Plus Premium. Because apparently, if you slap premium at the end of it, it makes it worth it somehow. With a monthly fee of $17.99. What the fuck? I know. That's what I said. But that's not all. They've also graciously introduced Ubisoft Plus Classics, a more wallet-friendly option at $7.99 per month, focusing on a selection of popular titles. More of a watered down version where you're not getting those probably day one releases, but classics. All the while suggesting we get comfy with not owning our games. Because why have ownership of the things you buy? Who are we to want to play a game 5 or 10 years from now? Go buy the new version, you poor. This all comes from Felipe Tremblay, the big shop behind this, compares it to Netflix and Shopify. But here's my take. I'm not buying it, and neither should you. Literally, I am not subscribing to this bullshit. This all comes from a recent interview done with gamingindustry.biz. The catalyst behind it has been the influx of millions of subscribers over the last 4 years who have collectively over 500 million hours of gameplay. Some sign up to trial one game for a month or two, while others come in, stick around, and play numerous titles. Tremblay went on to say, we look at the consumer behavior and how people were interacting with our offer, and we saw an opportunity for us to evolve. What are you, a fucking Pokemon? The director of subscriptions themselves. So, it's kind of his job to make this sound better than it is. There are multiple behaviors, he explains. There are definitely a lot of people who come in for one game and then decide to buy it after the subscription ends. That's part of the reality, and that's okay with us. Let's nip this in the ass right away. The reason players go to the subscription route before getting a game these days is because of the lack of demos. You'd be hard pressed to find studios willing to show off the game, not including early access, mind you. Games like Street Fighter 6 and the recent Final Fantasy remake come to mind. All deserve a tip of the hat of doing this, as many devs these days don't seem to want you to even get a glimpse of the game before you forked over that cold hard cash. They know these games are cracked, so they sure as hell don't want you to see it because they know you are not gonna buy it. So yeah, some opt in to pay $10ish or even get a free trial, see if the game is worth it, and then make a full purchase. That's being cost effective. Philip PP went on to mention that the point is not to force users to go down one route or another. He explains, we offer purchase, we offer subscription, and it's the gamer's preference that is important here. We are seeing some people who buy choosing to subscribe now, but it all works. We'll talk a little bit how this is a crock of bullshit. But is that really the case though? Does it all work though? There's already subscription fatigue with every industry, it seems like, trying to follow suit. Not only can these fees start to add up, and if Netflix is anything to go by, the quality won't be there for long, and the cost will inevitably go up and up over and over again, making it more unaffordable. However, Felipe argues that the subscription has enabled Ubisoft to bring in new players, with 1 in 10 Ubisoft subscribers having never engaged with the company's games before. And from a business perspective, I do understand the need for this, reaching new audiences and all, but this is not the way. Saying it's proving to be a way for gamers to access a world who perhaps wasn't inclined to purchase. Philippines believes that this shift is part of a broader trend where games, much like movie buffs, will transition to subscription models. It's a bold prediction considering how we gamers love to own our games. That's part of the charm. With physical game sales on the decline and digital platforms like Steam and PlayStation Store selling game usage agreements, it seems like the winds are a changing. There's also the side of greed. These companies aren't exactly known for doing the right thing. How much longer until we are nudged into the direction of digital only options? Literally praying that the game you have been playing hours upon hours will be there the next month when they inevitably make those updates to their library and poof, there goes all your game saves. It's clear that Ubisoft's premium price point exceeds, in some cases, what Xbox and PlayStation charge for their services. Some of this will be due to the business realities behind putting brand new AAA games in a subscription service, but Tremblay believes that the cost is reasonable considering what's on offer. Let's hear what he exactly had to say. We're talking day one releases with games like Prince of Persia. You get early access. You already have Avatar, Assassin's Creed Mirage. Quick side note, as groundbreaking games right there. All these games are available to play. That's tremendous value already. Well, that's like 3 games. And then there's the catalog too. Thousands of dollars of games. But again, just because you have 1,000 options doesn't mean that there are any good options. There's 1,000 ways to die. You telling me you want to pick one of them? Like, sure, one is better than the other, but is it really value? Like, come on, dude, what the fuck? When asked what it would take for the subscription model to take off, he went on to say, I don't have a crystal ball, but when you look at different subscription services, they are out there. We've had a rapid expansion over the last couple of years, but it's still relatively small compared to other models. He begins, we're seeing expansion on console as the likes of PlayStation and Xbox bring new people in. On PC, from a Ubisoft standpoint, it's already been great, but we are looking to reach out more on PC, so we see an opportunity there. Sure, you can point to Xbox Game Pass and have the same thought that offering day one releases or a catalog of older games makes it seem worth it or makes it seem like a great value, but it doesn't always mean that it's worth the money. Kudos to Xbox for being innovative, but using it as a benchmark for this kind of model, apples to oranges, my friends. Game Pass is an added service, not a replacement for owning games. We gamers cherish the idea of revisiting our favorite titles years and years down the line, not worrying if they will still be in our library or not. Then Felipe finally got to the crux of this, what he genuinely feels in his little nutsack. One of the things we saw is that the gamers are used to a little bit like DVD, having and owning their games. That's consumer shift that needs to happen. They got comfortable not owning their CD collection or DVD collection. Says who? That's a transformation that's been a bit slower to happen in games. As gamers grow comfortable in that aspect, you don't lose your progress. If you resume your game at another time, your progress file is still there. Okay, yeah, I'll believe that. That has not been deleted. you don't lose what you've built in the game or your engagement in that game. So it's about feeling comfortable with not owning your games. So it's about feeling comfortable with not owning your game. That one little line kind of goes against everything he said previously. It's not about choice. It's not about going this route or that route. It's about us forking money month after month, year after year to our corporate overlords as our ability to have ownership of the things we pay for and buy get dwindled away until we literally own nothing in our lives as we slave away as every hobby and pastime gets monetized till oblivion. This obviously isn't going well. Ubisoft is getting blasted more than the Maya Khalifa video. And from what I've seen, there is something of a sense of unity. And also, quick shout out to the Larian production director for this quick tweet, literally blasting a Ubisoft in this, going on to say, oh, you thought of that all on yourself now, did you? Honestly, well said. And also, I have to applaud Larian Studios for saying that their game will never touch a subscription service. The game is absolutely worth it outside of a subscription service. And honestly, they are one of the few companies that are offering outright ownership as their games are DRM free, especially on GOG. Yet another reason how Larian Studios is really leading the pack when it comes to game development, not only in the way they created Baldur's Gate 3, which was a phenomenal title that I've come to actually come around really hard on. I hated turn-based games until I played this one. So again, definitely a big fan, definitely applaud what they're doing. Ultimately, Ubisoft move feels very for the shareholders and out of touch with us, the actual gamers. It's like they've forgotten that they're a service, not a necessity. Sure, it is very convenient, and buying games digitally has a place in gaming, but we did not ask for this shit. We want to own our games, to have that sense of permanence and control over our own gaming library. Flat out. We pay for these games, we pay for these things to have unlimited access, not renting month to month. So, Crispy Gang, where do you stand on this? Are you ready to give up owning games for a subscription model, or do you feel, like me, like this is a step in the wrong direction? Sound off in the comments. Let's get a real crispy debate going. If you're feeling this content, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring that bell for more. Until next time, keep it crispy, crispy.